Hello, everyone. So, today let's discuss Trump's Donroe Document in action, Realpolitik and its impact. The world woke up to an astounding lesson in Realpolitik last weekend actually. It witnessed an act devoid of any ideology, ethics, or morality, an act that was clearly emphasizing national interest and realistic assessment of situations. So let us consider possible motivations for President Trump's essentially kidnapping Maduro with a limited military action, half an hour at the most, maybe, that was preceded by power projection in the Caribbean. They had a flotilla out there and bombed a couple of boats and so on prior to this action. Now, one would have to say, what might be the motives here? What might have been the motives for President Trump to take these actions? Now, clearly, a simplistic analysis would be removing a thorn in President Trump's flesh in the Western Hemisphere, somebody he didn't like. Or you could say grabbing control of vast oil reserves, one of the largest in the world, to get US oil companies yet another vast fields of oil that it can control and run as they please. The Exxons and the Chevrons and so on might get into the act again. Well, that's again a simplistic explanation. Or could it be showing the world, especially China and Russia, how a small country can be taken over at will? How you can toy with a small country and the next thing you know, whammo, get hold of it. Now, these reasons or motives actually make little sense, as the ramifications of these can be non-trivial. It could be non-trivial going forward. Particularly, what does it teach the adversaries of the USA? How will they react or plan to proceed in the near future? Some have complained that Iran is next. Some have claimed that it could be Iran goaded by Israel, for example, in the next few months in 2026. Others have jumped up to say Cuba could be next. Okay, we are playing Cubans in Miami, probably expecting that. Marco Rubio might have something to say about it. But hard to say what President Trump will conjure up next. Assuming there is a method to his madness, okay, let's assume that, what is he going to do next? It's hard to say. But he has, for example, Greenland on his radar too. EU must be trembling by now. Anyway, here are some thoughts one should also consider. What does losing control of Venezuelan oil flow do to China? China was one of the larger purchaser of oil from Venezuela. Probably they didn't pay US dollars for it. They may have made a deal to use yuan or some such thing. So much for curbing de-dollarization. Was that the motive by President Trump? Again, will China be dealing with similar restrictions when it tries to access minerals from South America? Peru, Chile, or wherever it has its mines, Bolivia, Colombia. Could it be that there's going to be some kind of embargo on such mineral transfers from South America from the Donroe Document area? Okay, so will China not be able to use its yuan, its RMB, its currency to purchase minerals from South America, and so its dependence on the US dollars continue or get exacerbated? So could that be the motives for President Trump to say, hey, you're not going to be using yuan to buy stuff, you'll have to come back to the dollar? Could that be the motive? Or again, is it all about making China make a deal with President Trump when they meet in April as they plan to? So is it like a bigger bargaining chip that President Trump holds to say you can't deal with South America unless you make a deal with me in April? So could that have been the motive? I'd be guessing that to be the motive. Again, will Russia be reaching or reacting now by getting closer to China? And will President Putin's strategic calculus change now? And if so, how? What is President Putin learning from this process? So again, it's important to consider other ramifications, such as what does it mean to EU, and in particular Denmark? Will they do anything to stop President Trump from annexing Greenland next, like it is threatened to several times? It's all interesting, isn't it? Is it like a domino effect? One country falls, the next in line could be Iran, or it could be Greenland, or it could even be somebody close enough like Cuba. So, what is the domino effect here? And is there a calculus to it? Is there some thought behind it? It's hard to figure out now. Anyway, does it now convince China to do the same and grab Taiwan, for example, just as the Trump's USA seems to have done now with Venezuela and could continue to do so with other places? So, in short, we don't know the plans that the US has under President Trump. Marco Rubio sometimes is waffling. He says one thing and then the next. Maybe he doesn't know what President Trump is up to either. So it's interesting times, and strange forces have been let loose over the world. So 2026 could be pivotal in some way. We've seen the first domino effect. Let's wait to see what happens next.